The collection of data in the schooling system enables tracking of performance of schools and the progress of staff members and learners. Important to note is that data collection systems can present such data efficiently so that it can be easily read and understood. The data-driven districts dashboard was first piloted in South African schools back in 2013 and has since been rolled out in 4 provinces. Well, in studio to tell us more about the role of dashboards is Giles Gillett, founder and MD of non-profit organization New Leaders Foundation. Giles, lovely to have you. I've said a mouthful, but I'm still not clear on exactly what this dashboard is supposed to do. So tell us about it.
So the data-driven dashboards project is a project we've been doing in partnership with the Department of Basic Education. So it's a partnership project, and the aim of the project is to create an online dashboard that pulls data from the existing South African school administration system. So it's taking data that currently exists in a system, but that's quite difficult to visualize, access, and to work with as a management tool, and to put it into a dashboard that gives us simple online access to it and is easy to visualize. So we're looking at key metrics. So we're not looking at all the data that exists around education. We're looking at the key metrics that we think are critical to curriculum management, which is the sort of focus of schools.
So give us a practical example. What would you use this for once you have access to this dashboard of information? What is it for?
So what it's for is to help managers at schools, help managers in circuits that are supposed to be supporting schools, to give them standardized data around learner attendance, teacher attendance, the learner results, promotions, etc., so that they can see where the gaps are and bring focused interventions around data around decisions that are data-driven, as opposed to being, data that might not actually be might not be factual and difficult for them.
It said it's since been rolled out to different provinces, about 4 provinces. How many learners have you been able to capture for this dashboard?
So currently we're in 4 provinces, and we've got close to 2.5 million learners on the dashboard. So real focused detail on each of those learners. In approximately 4,500 schools. So that equates to about 20% of the learners in the education system currently. So it's a big number.
Yeah, it is. How is this different from the system that you mentioned earlier? We've got the South African administration dashboard, or the system. How do the two differ?
So this is just an extension of that. So it's not a different system. It's just an extension of it. So all the data that we have on the dashboard comes from the South African schools admin management system. So we're working directly in partnership with the department to create a more efficient way for districts, for circuits, and for school principals to see data and make focused interventions, which is what we need around changing the lives of learners and teachers.
Are you able to share some of your experiences in terms of, where you've seen students being able to benefit from this? Honestly, sometimes when you do share a story, you find that that's when it has the most impact, because people can relate and understand exactly how this has improved the lives of learners.
Sure. So an easy one is there's a circuit manager in one of the provinces who used the dashboard to manage the attendance of their teachers and their learners. And through looking at that data and the comparative trends over time, they were able to speak to the school principals, speak to the teachers, and intervene, so that we had higher attendance of teachers, which then naturally improves the attendance of the learners and over time the learner outcomes. So it's simple things like that.
Yes. Are there any hurdles in data capturing? Because this is obviously very data dependent.
Yeah.
What challenges or hurdles have you come across?
So I think the number ones for this project specifically, our key challenges are around connectivity. So for the officials to use the dashboard, they need to be linked to the internet. So it's internet access, and in some of the remote areas that's difficult. The cost of the data as well. And I think computer literacy as a whole is a challenge that we've come up against.
Any future plans in terms of rolling this out even further countrywide? We mentioned where it currently is, but where can we expect to see this in the next year or so?
So, I think that what we're experiencing now is a real pull from the system. So we're in 4 provinces. Looks like we'll be working in Eastern Cape this year, moving into KZN. So there's at the moment, it's about how fast we can deliver in partnership with the department. So the rollout, I'm sure, is going to happen. When exactly, it'll depend.
Giles, thank you so much for coming in and giving us, a bit more knowledge on this. And, congratulations. And of course, we do wish you all the best. And hopefully, at the end of the year, we'll get an update from you once again. That was Giles Gillett, founder and MD of New Leaders Foundation.